Hey guys, what's going on? This is going to be one of the last videos where we're going over products that we're going to be putting on the Banshee. I know you guys want to get down to the nitty-gritty of actually putting this thing together, and so do I. We're pretty much there, waiting on one more part to come in the mail, which I will not be including in this video, and I'll just kind of feature that as we're putting the motor together. But this is a pretty crucial part of the motor, so I want to go over this and show you what I got here. So we're going to jump into it here. I'm going to cut open this box and I'll show you what I got. Oh man, got a nice Terry cable clutch cable. You can see it's for a dual carb setup. Splits into those two cables there. Well, this gives it away. You can see where this is coming from. BP Racing. Got some business cards in there. I like these little decals. You guys know I like stickers, but I actually like smaller decals a lot. I mean, big decals are cool too, but I kind of like little subtle ones. Plus, this is like the kind of thing you could put on your phone or something. I like that. And you guys can probably get an idea right now of what's in here. You can see these are some outer wears, some K&N style filters, and I'll get all these boxes out. Oh geez. Oh well, the secret's out. It's carburetors. So let me get all this stuff out of the box. Oh yeah, baby. You knew it was coming. Now this is not the setup that I originally bought. For you guys that have been following the build, you might recall that I ordered the Kean 28mm PWKs, and I got the genuine Keans, and this is something I ordered way back in the day. You know, we're talking, it was mid-October I ordered these carbs, and they still haven't gotten here yet. I recently just filed a dispute and won because, you know, no shit, I'm going to win because I paid the money for those parts and they never came in. But I'm actually happy it happened because it gave me a little bit more time to do some research and talk with Driveline Performance. And when I originally bought those carbs, I hadn't even decided on Driveline Performance yet. So this actually worked out in my favor. And this is more in line of what they had recommended. So what we have here are 34mm flat side carbs. We've also got a billet intake. We've got our Terry cable. And we've got our jets, some outer wears, K&N style filters, basically a complete intake kit for the Yamaha Banshee. Now, I was going to get genuine Kean carbs, and I did not get genuine Kean carbs. You guys are probably going to kick me in the face for this, or you're not. If you guys remember my carb incident that I had with the Banshee, you know, I got those. I mean, they were like literally, I think it was less than $50 shipped for 2 OEM style Yamaha Banshee carbs. I was under the impression that they actually were OEM, and you know, they were Chinese knockoffs, and they were not good at all. It was impossible to tune them. I mean, I seriously went through the ringer with those things, could not figure out what the heck was wrong, threw the stock carburetors back on, and it ran like a charm. Now I'm hoping for a different experience here with these carburetors, and before you guys jump down my throat and say, you know, Mike, what have we been through with cheaping out on parts? You know better than the cheaping out on parts. Get the name brand, get quality. I agree with that 100%. Don't forget, guys, a big portion of this channel is testing the cheaper parts, and then once they fail, or if they don't fail, but once they do fail, replacing them with a more premium part and justifying why it's so much more expensive to buy a premium part and why it makes sense to, and just to justify that cost entirely. However, this time around, I dealt with BP Racing, and I actually talked with Steve, the owner, over the phone, and he informed me that he has sold hundreds of these carb kits, and he has not yet received one complaint. These are supposed to be pretty good in quality. You know, I'm not going to say they're just as good as Kean. Maybe they are, but you know, they're much better, I'm sure, than those other Chinese carbs that I had. I'm really looking forward to throwing these on, and they're very cost effective, especially in comparison to genuine OEM Keans. If you want to pick up this kit that comes with all this stuff here, you can pick it up for just under $300 from bpracingatv.com. Let me give you guys a closer look at these carbs. You can see they look pretty nice. Looks like the machining is pretty good. These are flat side carburetors. unlike the OEM Mikunis. Look like pretty nice pieces. And don't worry, guys, I'm going to be replacing these hoses with those lime green hoses like I had set up before. I know you guys really like that. Definitely adds a nice touch. So these ones are going to be going by the wayside. Now these carbs are going to enable me to get much more power, much more flow, and it's going to make tuning a lot easier too. You have this bolt on the bottom that can be removed from the bowl. It enables you to change out your jets much easier than taking off the bowl entirely. So that's definitely going to make things easier. Should get a little bit more snappy throttle response. And with these carburetors, I should be making in the neighborhood of about 85 horsepower on pump gas, which I'm really excited about. Then, of course, included with this kit are two K&N style filters. They're not genuine K&Ns, but frankly, guys, I really think that the pod style filters that are, K&N replicas, they're pretty good. I've never had any issues with them. So I'm going to be pretty confident going with these. I'm going to run these without the airbox at first, and then down the road I'm going to see if I can modify the airbox to work with this. Driveline Performance was telling me that aluminum airbox that I run is a little restrictive for this setup, and it can make tuning a pain in the ass. So we're not going to run it the first time around. I want to see how much horsepower it would make on the dyno with this setup. And it also came with some outerwears, not genuine outerwears, just a generic outerwear. Nice little addition. You can throw it over the filter, adds a little bit more protection. Of course, you got your Terry cable, throttle cable. These are really nice and smooth. Not really much to show there. And this is really cool, something I was not planning to put on the Banshee, but since BP Racing hooked me up, I'm able to get this thing on there. And it's not just a shiny, fancy piece that's going to go on, because it is really shiny and fancy. It actually serves a purpose. This thing is a crossover. So it eliminates the need for either a boost bottle or a crossover pipe. And I'm going to take this thing apart. You can kind of see in here, up under here. That's the crossover right there. There's an actual opening between these two ports. That's your crossover tube. So you don't have that external crossover tube, which I think is kind of, unsightly. The boost bottles look cool, but I'm sure if you guys are on the forums or you've been in the Banshee world, the boost bottle is kind of like a lost cause. A little bit of controversy on them. But basically, the boost bottle doesn't do much at all. And it can cause your intake boots to crack and sag prematurely. So it's really just not the best thing to run, but look-wise, it does look pretty cool. But this definitely looks cooler, better quality, I think, and it's just going to make for a better overall build. So I'm going to take off these 4 bolts, and I'm going to show you that crossover inside. All right, so let's get these bolts out. Damn, that was that was stuck together pretty good. So you can see here, this is that channel I was talking about. That eliminates the need for a crossover. An external crossover, I guess. Still has the crossover. But I think this is a much, much cleaner design. Now apparently, I learned this on South Texas Banshee's channel, these things are notorious for leaking, just having very, very minute leaks. So before I put this back together, and I'm not going to do it today, I'm going to put some Yamalube around here, or Yamabond rather, just to seal this, a thin layer. And that's supposed to prevent any kind of leaks, which is no big deal that, it comes that way. It's better to just take that extra measure and make sure this thing doesn't leak. But the bottom line is, this thing looks freaking cool. So this is the carb setup that I'm going to be running on my 4mm Banshee. I'm pretty happy that what happened with those Keyens happened, the 28 millimeters. I think the 34 millimeter carbs are going to help me get much more horsepower and really get close to that 85 number, which is what I'm shooting for. Now, if you guys are looking to pick up a kit like this for yourself, you can pick them up at bpracingatv.com, and you can also find them on eBay as well, also from BP Racing ATV. Now, don't worry if you guys aren't looking to run 34 millimeter carburetors. If you want to get a setup like this and you're looking for a different size, BP Racing can hook you up with just about any size carburetor. You can also get them in genuine Keyen, or you can get these replicas as well. Now, if you're not looking to run pod filters, or you don't want this billet crossover, that's fine too. You can get just about any combination or assortment of parts that you want from BP Racing. They're one of the largest Banshee providers in the country. They have just about anything you need. If you're building a stroker motor or anything like that, or if you don't want to do the work and you want them to do it, they specialize in that as well. Banshees are one of their specialties. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop over to their website right now, and I want to give you just a quick taste of what BP Racing is. A lot of you guys probably already know what BP Racing is because they're so big in this game. And you know, when I bought my Banshee, there was actually a BP Racing sticker right on top of my boost bottle, and at the time I didn't know who BP Racing was. And it turns out they're one of the largest Banshee parts providers really in the country. All right, guys, so I'm on my computer here at bpracingatv.com. Just wanted to give you a quick look at their website. You can see they don't just offer stuff for Banshees. You can see all this different stuff they got here, some of their kits. And really what I find most impressive is actually their eBay store. So I'm going to show you the eBay store right here. And before we get into these parts right here, I know it's going to be hard not to look at these motors and stuff, but I just wanted to show you this list of different bikes, quads, and you know, side-by-sides. They really offer parts for just about anything you can think of. And right now I have the Banshee section open, and I just went straight for the throat and did highest price plus shipping at the top of the list. And you can see they have some really serious builds right here. But yeah, you can see they offer all kinds of kits. I really like these build kits they have, and I mean, depending on your budget, they have pretty much anything you can think of, and they're very inclusive. Depending on what you want, you know, you can get everything you need to, you know, certain assortments of parts. I mean, you can see really the options are endless, and I really like these kits too because it kind of takes the guesswork out of, you know, which parts you want to put together and what works well with what. So you can see just how much, you know, inventory this guy has and the different options. Definitely check them out if you're looking to do a build on your Banshee, or if you want to send your Banshee in, your motor in, and have them build it themselves. You know, these guys have more than 50 years combined experience working on Banshees, and Banshees are one of their specialty. And you know, they do everything. You know, from stock motors, Cheetah Cubs, and even DMs. So these guys definitely know their stuff. You can see he's got free shipping labeled on all these listings. It's something that we talked about over the phone, and Steve mentioned that it's very important to him that he gets these parts boxed up and shipped out ASAP. So that's something you can count on, and something that's definitely important because we all know once we've ordered parts, we're dying to get them, especially if our bike's down and we need them to ride. If you guys are interested, I'll have all the contact information for BP Racing in the description below. Get them on Instagram too at BP_racing_ATV. He's got some of his kits and stuff on there. And he's got Facebook as well if you search BP Racing ATV. Now I have two last things that I want to show you before I wrap up this video. I got them sitting right here. I'll be real quick about it, but I think this one especially is very important. Now what this is an inline temperature gauge. Banshees are known for overheating. So this is from Mac Daddy Racing. Pretty nice little piece there. Very simple. This just goes right in line with your radiator hose. Lets you know what kind of temperature running. So if you're, you know, getting a little bit too hot, you know ahead of time to shut it down before you wind up causing any damage. Now these are available from Mac Daddy Racing on eBay. I picked mine up for 40 bucks shipped. Pretty inexpensive for what you're getting. All right, guys, and on to the next piece of equipment that we're going to be throwing on the Banshee. We have a DRW case saver. Now at first glance, a lot of you guys are probably looking at this thing thinking, my God, that thing looks crazy. Because really it is crazy. You know, this is the most, I would say, intricate and, you know, form-fitting case saver that I've ever seen. And the idea to get this case saver didn't come out of nowhere. You guys recommended this to me. I heard it when I was building the Raptor. You guys were busting my balls, telling me not to go with the case saver I went with. And you guys were telling me to go with DRW. DRW, DRW. That's all I was hearing, seeing in the comments. So I had to check it out for myself. And I decided to reach out to DRW. And I got hooked up with one of these bad boys for the Banshee. And you can see really how form-fitting it is. The sprocket fits right in here. And your chain goes right through these two passages here. And really what makes this thing such a good case saver is with this design, not only is it going to be fixed by these 3 bolt holes, but it fits into the cases so perfectly like a glove that if there's any chain breakage or anything and it's pushing up on this part of the case saver, the entire case is going to be, you know, fighting back against this thing. and more likely, the more areas that you have pressing on this case saver and supporting it, the less likely you are to break anything. So normally with a typical case saver, you're just hooking up by these 3 mounting holes, and I can show you actually here with this case saver. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about this case saver. This one's from Tusk. It's just not nearly as protective as the DRW, literally. And I'll show you, I have my cases sitting here, why this design is not as good as this DRW design. Alright, so we're here at the cases. By the way, for you guys that didn't see the last video, the reason these cases are so clean is because I just got them vapor blasted thanks to DBC Racing. Now, I'm going to show you first the Tusk case saver, which is really a traditional case saver. If you go on eBay and type in Banshee case saver, you're going to see 1,000 of these things by different brands. This is kind of like the typical design, but really where it's faulty is you can see these 3 mounting areas. This is where it hooks up, and there's really nothing stopping this, from going anyplace. If your chain breaks off and it hits up here, it's really likely that you're going to break these mounting holes, and you're going to cause yourself a lot of damage. Now, there's also a section of my case that's missing. I just want to point this out. That typically goes right here. And if you have a Banshee, you might not have that either. You might see a broken area right here. It's really typical that that little flap right here breaks off because a chain breaks, and it's a very thin piece of aluminum, and it breaks right off. Now, this is supposed to prevent that from happening. Obviously, this Banshee didn't even have a case saver on it when I bought it, so that piece broke away, and I cleaned my section off. But you'll see with this DRW one, this literally fits in here perfectly. And this ledge up here, that's where that flap would fit right in here. And the way that this fits in here, now keep in mind, guys, it's not bolted in, and there's a little bit of a gap in the cases. These cases aren't bolted together. But when this is all together, this is going to be really tight. And even if I pick it up from the back here, there's no bolts in here. And you can see it's lifting the case up because it fits in there so snug. So that's why this is so safe and so important for protecting your cases, because it fits in there so perfectly. So it's going to have a ton of support. Definitely, I would say the best case saver that I've ever seen. Probably the best on the market. If you guys are interested in picking one of these up for yourself, you can get it from DRW Performance. Check out their eBay page. This one was less than 75 bucks. They also come in different formats. This one is the small sprocket version, so it's made for 12 to 15 teeth. Now, they also have a large sprocket version, which is 15 to 19 teeth, which is really nice because this kind of standard format that most companies offer, it can be tough to fit these on, with a sprocket, a bigger sprocket, you can't even run them. So they do have these in different versions depending on what kind of sprocket you're running, and they're also available in billet. Now, if you guys aren't running a Banshee, it's no problem. DRW makes these things for most popular sport quads. They also make case savers for dirt bikes too. So if you're looking for a case saver, I would definitely check out DRW. It's most likely going to be your safest option. And the last thing I have here is really nothing too exciting, but it's definitely important. New gaskets and seals, and that's going to be it, guys. We have all the parts we need to start building this motor. I know you're tired of seeing the parts. This is the boring part, but I want to show you guys everything that I'm getting because I can show you guys all the work that needs to be done, but if you don't know what parts to buy, or at least what parts I'm buying for my build, you're going to be kind of lost. Plus, I like to go over this stuff, and I'm learning about this stuff as I buy it, and it's nice to inform you guys about it too. So you guys can rest assured in the upcoming videos, I'm going to start assembling that 4mm motor. I'll be taking pictures along the way, and I'll be posting that up on my Instagram page. By the way, guys, if you haven't followed me already, please give me a follow. It's Michael Sabo 350. That's Michael Sabo 350 on Instagram. Posting up a lot of pictures of your guys' quads and stuff like that. You guys know the drill. Michael Sabo 350. Check it out. But I'll be posting pictures of the Banshee build on there as well. Usually that stuff gets posted up before the videos because the videos take some time to render and edit and everything. So if you want to get some updates, definitely follow me on there. Going to try to move this along a little bit quicker. I'm going to have a little bit more time on my hands for the next 3 weeks. So hopefully I can get this thing moving along, get that Banshee motor in the frame, and really start ripping on that thing and get some nice pictures. And I'm excited about that quad, man. I feel like I haven't really had the full Banshee experience. For you guys that follow the channel, that Banshee is the first Banshee that I ever even rode. So I don't really have anything else to compare it to. I don't know if it's fast, if it's slow, Banshee wise anyway. Hopefully this 4mm is going to be badass and, you know, rip my arms out of their sockets. All right, guys, so I am going to wrap it up with that. Remember to check out bpracingatv.com. They can pretty much cure any of your Banshee needs, plus they have a ton of other ATV stuff as well. And, of course, guys, remember to comment, like, and subscribe. Give me that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. And you can rest assured, like I said before, next video is going to be an assembly video, and really looking forward to that, and I know you guys are too. So without further ado, I'm going to end the video here. I will see you guys soon. Enjoy your weekend and stay safe.